What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Detroit Lions rushing attack so far this year, because apparently we are the best run blocking team in the NFL. I'm not making that up. Let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. And yes, we are diving into this rushing attack for the Detroit Lions in today's video and what maybe we can expect to see in the upcoming weeks with this run game. Now, last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was only 2 days ago, Deandre Swift had a career day. I mean, this guy was like, wow. That looks like a guy that came out of the draft known as the best running back in the draft class, right? That's what he looked like. 8.3 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards, a 50-plus yard run. It was like, wow. And it's not even doing what, you know, maybe some people thought we brought him in for was this pass catch. It was just running the football. I mean, it was between the tackles. He was running hard. He was getting outside, showing the explosiveness. It was like, okay, yeah, I see why we drafted this guy now. And he only did that in 14 attempts. He only had 14 carries in that game as he split the load a little bit with Carryon and Adrian Peterson. So that was great. It was awesome to see. But apparently so far through this year, again, this is according to Pro Football Focus, okay? So keep in mind, you have to take it for what it is, that it's a metric that you take and you understand, but you also have to use other stats. However, according to Pro Football Focus, the Lions had the best run blocking offense in the NFL. The best rush blocking offense in the NFL, okay? That means that the Lions are blocking for the run better than any other team, all right? Just in case that wasn't clear enough. I don't know why I said that. I'm so sorry. But the Lions are run blocking very, very well, and we've seen that with the eye test alone, and now PFF is telling that as well. And the two guys leading the charge are, of course, the guys that we would expect. Frank Ragnow, when he's on the field, good thing he played last week. Frank Ragnow, the second best at his position in run blocking, 11th at his position as a whole, according to PFF. And Taylor Decker, second best in run blocking at his position, who just got a big contract. And sometimes you're concerned when he gives guys big deals because they don't always live up to it. Taylor Decker has been even better since we've paid him. The Lions, Bob Quinn, make that decision to say, hey, look, we're going to trust that you're going to do your job. You're going to do what you do, and we can lock you up for multiple years, and you're going to be a cornerstone of this team, right? You're going to protect Stafford. You're going to help us run block. And so far, he's been phenomenal, the best we've ever seen of Taylor Decker. And this offensive line as a whole has been really good when it comes to run blocking. Not awful when it comes to pass blocking either. Not as good as run blocking, but not really bad. And that includes missing Big V early in the season, right? That includes playing out there with the backup tackle, missing Joe Daw on the IR. That includes all of that, and still they're ranked as the best rush blocking unit in the league. But what is the problem with this? The problem is the Detroit Lions are 13th in the league, tied for 13th in yards per attempt with 4.3. Now, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing that it's 4.3. But you would hope it would be even higher, knowing that we have the best rush blocking unit in the league. And Jason Cabinda has been doing very well, or Cabinda. I don't know exactly how I say it. I said Cabinda before, now I'm saying Cabinda because that's how everybody else says it. The wide receiver was blocking. We had TJ Hockenson. We have Jesse James doing their thing. So you would expect maybe it would be a little bit better, right? You would expect maybe that we'd be rushing for more yards per carry than what we're rushing for so far this season. Now, if you look at the stats, currently the Lions are 15th in the league with 115 yards rushing per game. Hold up, we're averaging over 100 yards per game rushing? Do we know Stafford's record with over 100 yards rushing? That's really good. If you guys can remember, we haven't had a rushing attack in, let's just say, since Barry Sanders was here. And all of a sudden with Darrell Bevell, we put the emphasis on it, especially this year. And the rushing attack is starting to come around. Like, the best rush blocking O-line, will we expect to have seen that at any time in the near future since what we've seen, you know, in the last decade with how we've been? I mean, we've been the worst rushing attack by far in the last decade. The fact that Stafford has only a handful of 100-yard rushers and he's played for over a decade is not good. That's not a good thing. All right, but finally, it looks like this rushing attack is coming around. But they just need to be a little bit better, and it starts in the backfield because our running backs right now, currently, all three of them rank in the bottom 15 out of all running backs that, you know, are accounted for based on carries. In the bottom 15 of yards after contact. 80 of the 116 yards for Deandre Swift last week was before contact. 80 of those yards not getting touched on that big run, didn't get touched. But that doesn't take into account the great vision and the patience that he has, because his vision is incredible, right? He can see the hole, and that's on him for making that big play, right? He saw the hole, he made the cutback and made it happen. And that's what Peterson shows, is that he has that incredible vision. The thing is, Peterson just doesn't have that same explosiveness that Deandre Swift has. But what Peterson does have is he has that goal line presence of he's going to run through you. He still has that. That hasn't gone anywhere. So I love that we have AP. And Kerryon Johnson just hasn't really been super involved. I mean, really hasn't been at all. If you look at Kerryon so far, beginning of the year, a little bit more involved. 7 carries, 8 carries in the first 2 games. But since then, 3 carries, 4 carries. Just really losing his engagement when it comes to touching the football. And I'm assuming it's going to stay down there, but he'll still get his touches here and there. But he's really been big in pass blocking. Our running back group hasn't been awful. But what I'm expecting is that the Lions are going to go more to Deandre Swift like they did last week in upcoming games and see if you can give them similar production. Not the same, but similar. You're probably not going to expect to do an average 8.3 yards per carry. But if he can give you 4 to 5, if he can give you around 5 yards per carry, now all of a sudden he's going to get more touches. If you look at his carries by week, it goes like this: 3, 5, 0, 4. Last week, 14. And let me just say, I did make a video. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit. I made a video heading before this game, a week before this game, saying that Deandre Swift needs more touches because I watched on film a guy that seemed to be figuring it out, a guy that seemed to be starting to click. And if you look at his yards per carry by week, it goes like this: 2.6, 2.40 because he didn't get a carry, 5.5, and now 8.3. Something started to click against the New Orleans Saints, and the Lions seemingly found a way to start using him. I think my sleeper pick here for the guy that will probably get the most snaps at the running back position is finally Swift. I feel like he's gotten better. He's gotten more comfortable. The Lions could try to use some of that speed to their advantage to get to the outside, and I think we could see Swift line up a lot at receiver, but I think he'll get more snaps on the field than any other running back will. Okay, I'm going with Deandre Swift as my bold prediction. Adrian Peterson, however, has been going the other way. It started off at 6.6, 5.8. Now it's 3.4, 3.3, 2.7. Adrian Peterson started to slow down a little bit. Maybe the defense started to cut on to him. So I think the having the rotation is great because you always have to be accountable for everybody. And Adrian Peterson still needs to get involved. And now after we saw him catch that pass last week, it's like, okay, at least we can trust that he can do that. So I'll make a good pass block pickup. Everybody's going to continue to get involved.
But you can't. So, I mean, did he earn more? I mean, he's been a big part of the passing game. Does he earn more of the running game?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. We got a great group. So, I mean, I'll give it to all of them.
Well, we need to see more Deandre Swift like they did last week, around 10 carries a game, because right now the Lions are averaging about 27 carries rushes a game. They're rushing the ball 27 times a game. And right now, if you look at the stats, you look at rushing attempts for 27th, that's because we've only played 5 games. We'd be 9th going by averages if we ran for 27 times a game. We'd be 9th in the league in rushes per game. We're rushing the ball more than we're passing the football. I mean, it sounds crazy when you have Matthew Stafford, but we are. We're rushing the ball more than we're passing it. And I'm not saying it's crazy because Darrell Bevel, that's what he does. Everywhere he goes, he runs the ball. And we're seeing again, that is starting to actually happen. Like, we have a rushing game. Now we just need to see more of that second round pick. Now we just need to see a little bit more of that guy consistently. We saw it last week, and I don't think he needs to get more than 14 carries a game. But I think you get him around 10 a game, now you're doing something right. Don't overdo it. Don't let him get injured. Don't do that. Keep the mix. Keep guys fresh. Keep mixing it by drive. I'm good with that. But continue to give him somewhere around 10 carries a game. 10 carries. And Adrian Peterson, continue to use him around the goal line because he's our best goal line running back. There's no doubt about it. Swift isn't bad. Kerryon's not bad. He still has some explosiveness. But Peterson is the best. So I love the mix we have here, but I think Swift's going to be more involved as we see the season go on. He'll be getting around 10 carries a game, I'm expecting. Because this offensive line apparently has been doing their job to a super high level. Now we just need the running backs to do their job. And I think what the Lions saw last week out of Swift is like, okay, we can trust this guy in a lot of different situations. And it doesn't even have to be all carries, but just give him the ball, right? This guy needs to have at least 10 touches a game. There's no doubt 10 touches somehow. You got to try to find a way to get him 10 touches a game, all right? You got to try to get him involved that way. And again, there's only one ball to go around, but you have to try to find a way to get him 10 touches a game. Now, again, if Adrian Peterson comes out hot, you feed the hot hand. If Kerryon comes out hot, you feed the hot hand, okay? You roll with the hot hand. You don't go away from that. You're coming with the mindset that we're going to give this guy 10 touches a game. And if he comes out slow and someone else is doing their thing, they take over the role. But I do like what the Lions are doing here, and I think they saw something last week, and it was great that Swift had that breakout game because we're going to continue to see him get more involved in this offense. The best rushing offensive line in the league. Really? Like, Mob Quinn came in with the mindset that he wanted to fix this offensive line. And it looks like they may have done it. It looks like they may be on their path to fixing this offensive line. I really can't say how impressive that is from what we saw in, this isn't anything against Caldwell, but again, when the Caldwell years were here, Caldwell and before with Schwartz, everybody, we couldn't run the football at all. I mean, this was terrible. We could not run the ball at all. And finally, it's starting to come around, and that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge for long-term for this team. Long-term success. If we're going to have long-term success, being able to run the ball, we've seen defensively, if you can't stop the run, you're in trouble. If you can run the ball, you can make it very difficult on defense. It takes a lot of pressure off Stafford, and he's loving it. The Lions have been consistent. They're scoring over 26 points per game, more than they did last year. Think about that. And they haven't even been clicking that well. Now let's get into this run, and hopefully the run game is a big part of it. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Are you kidding me right now? I had to put my helmet on for this one. Are you kidding? Look at this. Look at all these members. What? Yo, hey, shout out to all the members, man. Look how many All-Pro members there are. Like, literally, it's the whole screen, dog. This is crazy. The patrons, of course, the Hall of Fame members, man. Y'all got the gold color. It's kind of yellow, but it's supposed to be gold. Shout out to all the members, man. If you want to be a part of this, all you got to do is join the channel. But there are perks that come with it. Stay locked in the community tab if you are a member, because that's where a lot of information comes out. I appreciate all of you. What?